Thanks,
I'm just
Crisp.
Windows. I'm gonna just start recording right now. Windows just like opened up my screen for no reason after closing something else. This is our first episode utilizing the crispy. I think it's called the widget. They're not called
Yeah.
programs anymore. They're called widgets.
Well, I mean, there's got to be like some kind of difference. I know, like on your phone, a widget is like you can have a Spotify widget that's you're not opening the app itself. You can actually like interact with the app through the thing, the
Yeah, it like
widget
takes up
on
certain real
your
estate on your like
yeah
little link,
homepage or
whatever page
whatever.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
True. Oh, fuck. I don't know if the slideshow's going. Okay, there it is. Great. Yeah. Anyway. Wow,
So
that
that's what
was
it
the
is. It's on
cold
your desktop.
open. What was it the cold open to?
Friend Simulator Podcast, episode 10.
No, that was last one. This is episode 11.
Oops.
Pay attention. This is
Episode
episode
11.
911, okay?
This is episode
I'm
911.
not going to my YouTube channel to confirm. Okay, yeah, it is. It is episode 911.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, so if you hear an echo,
Never forget this episode.
if you hear an echo or if Fauntleroy's mic sounds bad, okay, that second one isn't Crispy's fault. But if you hear echo from my mic, we need to find the Crispy Dev CEO, and we need to send him a really strongly worded letter.
If you do hear yourself through my mic, I've been messing with my mic the past couple episodes too. So I haven't downloaded Krispy Kreme, but
I don't
messing
think.
with stuff on
Oh yeah, well don't do it because my mouse is basically sliding across the screen like my computer screen. It's like I covered my computer screen in Vaseline and now I'm moving my mouse around and it actually had an effect. And I'm not just like glazing across the screen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just from what you've been telling me with Krispy Kreme and the fact that it has the record button active at all times, really
Yeah,
susses me out a little bit.
every time the widget is active, you are forced to have this ticking number and record thing on the side of the screen. And I don't know where these files are recording. Maybe it's the NSA agent recording me. I don't know.
Maybe it's bought up by the U.S. government.
That would make sense.
You played Age of Empires, right? No, sorry, Age of Mythology.
Yeah, I played that game.
Wasn't there a unit for the Egyptians called like a widget or something?
Oh,
They're like snake
yeah.
things that
It's
were
like,
like
I think it's
they
like
were called like
Adjet or
widgets.
something, or Wadjet or whatever. And it was like a little snake with wings on its head.
Yeah.
It honestly felt like the least creative mythological unit of all time. And I know it's probably not like
Well,
they
but
made
it's
it up.
based off mythology. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like they weren't
it's
too
up there with the
creative.
centaur, right?
They should have tried harder. Like, imagine what hard drugs they were on to come up with that one.
Like,
Oh
dig
boy,
a
I
little
had
deeper.
bread today. Look at this crazy idea.
I had fermented yeast.
Yeah. Oh boy. Wow. That's Emotep and his crazy ideas about snakes again. Wow, with wings on their head. That one. He probably
Egyptians
went
were
as-
on some shit,
with the
right? Like
Egyptians.
they,
Yeah, no.
like they were very advanced. I can't get over like mummification.
Yeah, the
like-
pyramids were spaceships.
I mean, I don't go in that angle, but I just,
Well,
I
wait a
genuinely
minute.
think
Okay,
they're. I think
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna detour with the other thing that I'm gonna say.
they
But
were very
yeah,
advanced.
I mean, they had advanced healthcare and death.
Yeah, that's
You know?
healthcare and death care. Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh shit, we couldn't save them, but at least we can fuck with their bodies a whole bunch while they're dead to make it so that like maybe in the future we can exhume the body and bring them back to life.
Well, I mean, like the religion or whatever, like the idea was like all their earthly things get brought over to second life.
So it's like Josh and thinking that when he eats food that it goes to his grandma. Have you heard that one?
I know that one, yeah, where like
thinks
he's
that
enjoying
eating,
something.
like
and,
these
yeah.
nasty meals, and then his family are like burning in hell, and they're getting like a fucking roach burrito.
Okay, so what Austin what Borley's saying is King Cobra JFS, aka Josh. What's his middle name? Is the F actually his middle name?
Joshua Faye Saunders.
Faye Saunders.
Yep.
He has a theory where when he eats food, it gets like apparated to the afterlife, so your relatives can also share that food with you. Which in in theory, like, sounds like a cute novel idea, but then you couple that with
What is he
just the
eating?
god awful atrocities that he creates for his food hacks. Used to, not anymore. Now his
Now he
food
just
hacks are just putting garlic butter on
garlic
fucking
butter and hitting the add
pizza.
everything button to his meals on food, like fast food orders.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, adding
complaining because they
yeah.
forgot one of like 98 add-ons. And it's not even just like he's adding every item, but he's also adding multiples of every item, and then he's like autistically counting, like, oh, I added 3x bacon, but they only gave me 2.5x bacon. It's like this is the one time where he can do ratios and math.
No, absolutely. Well, yeah, because he's a food hack expert.
Yeah, he's like paying attention for his fucking bacon. Yeah, that's what being a food expert is all about. So they're mummifying these people. They're taking their stuff to the afterlife. So what is the next? What does the afterlife look like from the
The afterlife.
Egyptians?
Well, I'm not too sure what it looks like, but you know, that was the idea with mummy, like the actual tombs and all that. Is anything that was like buried with them gets brought over. I just
So
know
it's kind
that.
of like the
I knew that
pyramid. They get
much.
the pyramid. Is that their housing too? Then
I think honestly, I maybe
that's
it
fucking
might even be a
wild.
monument. Oh, okay. So um I there's this guy. It's I should look up what it's called, but it's this like really dorky looking dude who just travels around the world and it's
Yoshi
like
2.0.
no PBS
Not him.
it's like travel documentary. But he I'm not even gonna PBS passport, who knows? But oh, Rick Stevens. Yeah, Rick Steves. I think that's it. Rick.
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. This guy rules. Look up Rick Steves. So he just tours, he just goes around the world, and it's each like episode's like I don't know, like 20 or so minutes or something.
Hi, I'm Rick.
And
I got
it's
one.
on PBS.
It's amazing.
He's he's very dry, but like he's very entertaining at the same time. Like it's not super dry, but it's not like it's very like, you know, understated. It's not super over the top or anything. This is fun, educational, and he's got like a pretty silly sense of humor.
The
But
reason you brought him up is because he's actually been to Egyptian afterlife and back, right?
he's been, if not Egyptian Afterlife and back, I saw an episode where he was in Egypt at least. So he was an
Close
Egyptian
enough. As like a
current life,
as like a whiteoid,
contemporary life.
you know, going to Egypt. That's as close as getting to Egypt afterlife. Because I mean, he come back dead?
No, but there was an episode where he went to Iran and
Oh,
he
that's
was
basically like being dead.
he was bemoaning well, not bemoaning, but he was saying how it was actually very like he was very privileged to be able to have to go in with like recording devices and stuff. And he had to have a liaison the whole time because they're so
They're like the North Korea of the Middle East.
I mean, pretty much, because I think they're under like some Islamic rule. I don't know if it's like the actual
They have
whatever.
a religious dictatorship kind of thing, I think.
Yeah,
Some kind of silly thing like that.
something wacky like that. Oh, but so the episode on Egypt that I saw, and the only time I watch this if when I visit my grandma sometimes she loves PBS, you know, classic grandma moves. So
Here, I
it's
can't put
like
on I can't watch the 56, you know, King Cobra JFS gets blackout drunk and like tries to shoot himself with a shotgun video, but here, Grandma, watch this.
no, she well we've seen all those. Like she's just like
Oh,
I'm single, I'm single watch.
you tapped the well now, and you're like, oh gosh.
She's like I'm so caught. She's like I'm caught up on this shit. Like
I'm
we
caught
need
up.
something different. I'm like
I
okay,
already
all
know
right,
what's
Grandma.
happening with him.
We'll watch we'll watch some PBS Rick Steves. Okay.
Okay, it's not as entertaining, but you know.
Yeah, honestly though, it is very it was very entertaining. But so it's funny because they went from, you know, the opulent pyramids that we know, like the fucking Giza and stuff, and actually later because they realized like, you know, tomb raiders or like, yeah, we'll just call them tomb raiders, are like constantly just looting them.
There's
They
anything to loot
actually
still?
Well, now I'm not sure, but I'm saying
Oh, back
when
in
they
the
were like
day.
still, yeah, like
You're
actual
like to like
pharaohs and
2007, you're
stuff.
saying.
Maybe 6, 4,
Okay.
you know, a couple more years
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But
That doesn't make
so they
sense.
they transitioned from like the actual pyramids to just these places in like the mountains. It's called the Valley of the Kings. If you ever want to look it up, where it's very, you wouldn't think it's where people are buried, but that's where they started burying all their like, yeah, the kings and stuff.
I'm already at it. I happen to be on the
'Cause
right video. Oh, there's like an entrance and everything. That's pretty neat.
it's very interesting. It would be really cool to see. At the same time, I think it's just very surreal how they these are like sacred sites, and then it's like just kind of got reduced to tourist attractions. But
Well,
so
there ain't
is
nothing
the
else
the
going
March
on
of
in the
Time.
desert, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm not a monarchist. You know, this is as good as they deserve.
Well, that's I agree with that, and I think when it comes to kind of like religious
I hear what you're saying when it comes to like maybe the culture's
rituals,
reverence
because
for it.
it's like that
It's
was like a
not like
sacred thing at that time or
people are just
whatever.
coming
No.
over and looking at their thing, but maybe it doesn't feel as like a this the purpose of the thing kind of gets a little washed away if the only people going there are tourists and not like,
Right.
oh, I want to go look at our own history. You know, like I don't see busloads of kids going here as on like a visit. I just see tourists
Oh, literally,
in
that's
this
all it
video.
is.
You
Yeah.
know, like if you go to like any kind of like national thing in America, you're gonna probably see like busloads of kids or something if you go during the school year. But then you'll also see maybe some tourists or whatever, right? But there'll be tourists
Right.
like in the country. Whereas like this is only tourists out of the country.
But I think that's a lot of their
Industry.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, they don't got too
tourism.
much else to offer. Egypt is well, you know, we've been talking around the issue. I think it's time we addressed it. Egypt was a black land.
It was.
And King Tut was a black man.
He was.
And
And
you know
who
who's
taught us
saying that
this?
stuff? Who taught
Who taught us this lesson? Yeah.
Well, I mean, grandma taught somebody that, but I know who taught us this in a song. His name was Shaka Amos. He
Who immortalized this in
recorded on a stolen iPhone, no doubt. Too bad he doesn't have the video anymore. He just has a version of the song. Oh, but he has the live version where he's like crying. Oh my!
Why must I cry? Why must I cry?
Look this up on the thing. 1 second. Oh my god, my mouse just disappeared. Okay, I'm glad Crisp is such a good program that it makes my mouse disappear.
I mean, Shaka Amos is he's a prolific creator. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
He's on Jordan Lee Peterson's show.
What, really?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Shaka
Oh,
Amos on Black Hebrew Israelites first comedic spirituality highlight
I'm
the
watching.
fallen state.
I have the live of him singing the song, and he looks scared shitless. I've never seen a person more physically uncomfortable in their own body singing a song in my life. And it's amazing also because it's like, it's the dumbest song ever. I think I mentioned this before, but I don't know if I said on the podcast. After watching Black Panther, I went home and I listened to Shaka Amos's Egypt Was a Black Land for like 3 hours.
Why didn't
And
they have that in the soundtrack?
I
Why did they
honestly, I was
skip it?
actually disappointed. I wanted to hear the intro to the song. I'm gonna play the intro to the song. Hopefully, we don't get demonized. 1 second, because I really do like the intro to the song. Let me go get the actual
Demonetized.
demilitarized. Okay, here we go.
For Dr. Big.
Dr. Bigga? I never had the fucking CC subtitles on before. Dr. Bigham? Okay, that's enough of that. I'm gonna go back to the other song. Apparently it's for Dr. Bigham. I don't know who Dr. Bigham is.
Like the character in Chappelle Show.
Oh my god.
Tyrone Biggums.
Holy shit. How deep is this plot? What if Shaka Amos is the one who convinced
Dave Chappelle to go to Africa.
Dave Chappelle
Yeah,
to go to
probably.
Africa and like
lose his mind.
go become crazy.
He
And
fell
then,
off
like,
after that.
come back and do some weird special that
Just to be
was
a
like
conservative.
transphobic or something. I think I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was he was trying to. It was really like the most charitable approach is it was really edgy. But I think he did I think he ended up like having a special after that where he kind of doubled down on the transphobic shit, and it's like, dude, just
You know,
fucking. It's not. You don't even have to take the L. Just ignore it.
yeah, you didn't need to
Just-
like keep be. You don't. Okay. Here I am. I'm being retarded. Oh fuck! Everyone's calling me out on being a retard. Now I'm even more retarded than before.
Yeah, literally.
Like, come on. Like, I don't
Grow
know.
up.
Yeah,
How
actually.
like sensitive do you have to be?
Yeah, it's like Jerry Seinfeld. Like, if you ever like watch anything, any interview with him or anything, he's kind of like just I don't know. It's just like, oh, okay. I'm not funny anymore. The culture has moved past me. I'm an irrelevant nobody. How do I understand the lack of response that I get for my unfunny material? And like Jerry just points to fucking wokeism, and he like, oh, my gay professor joke didn't land because I guess we can't make fun of gays anymore. But the joke was
Can't
just
be
that he's
funny
gay.
anymore. Yeah.
Like it
That's
was
like that's the punchline.
yeah, the joke was literally the professor is gay. And there was like a lispy accent. It's like, dude, this wasn't even funny 20 years ago. Like,
I mean, it got a response 20 years ago, but yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't funny 20 years ago.
yeah, like you were already in middle school 20 years ago. Like, you need to grow up, my dog, my dude. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Maybe
Well,
Chappelle.
we were in middle school. Jerry Seinfeld. Well, he was for other reasons, but he wasn't
He was
attending.
difficult because he was getting those. He needed to
He was
get those girls right when they turned 18. And
Mhm.
I love his famous response. We don't talk about it. It's like, well, yeah, because it's fucking weird. Of course you don't talk about it.
Because he got caught. Well, wasn't she like 16 when he met her or something?
Think no, it had to be like closer to. I don't know what the legal age in New York or whatever, but it was like right
Well,
around.
I thought you knew these things.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, everyone. I've been masquerading as a hebephile. I'm
Ugh.
actually not into girls that are below the age of 18. And I will tell you, I had the opportunity, and because I have a stalwart heart and a moral compass, I did not engage with the. I was about to say harpy. I don't know
She
what to say.
wasn't that bad, huh?
No,
The
she wasn't.
person,
She
the
wasn't.
individual in
No, in
question.
hindsight, I thought maybe she was, but I don't. In hindsight, I don't think she was a bad person.
Oh, I like those kind of stories where you kind of come to realization like, maybe the people that I thought were awful weren't.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff there. I don't know. We can get into that. What do you want to go first? We're kind of all over the place. Where do you want to land first?
I mean, we could do a shit take. I think that was all I had written down was just the shit take because I think it's just so stupid.
I kind of forgot. Okay, I remember my shit take again. Never mind.
You remember
Okay.
your shit take?
Yeah. Okay, we can go. So okay, we're
Okay.
doing a shit take competition to have the shittiest opinion on anything.
So mine is so it's and this is revolved around like the healthcare system. I think that's what we came to terms with.
In the United States of America, correct?
In the US, and God bless the USA.
Yeah, D2A, Death to America.
Well, that's what's gonna happen to you if you
What?
have any kind of medical
No.
problem.
How?
You're either shackled with debt or just die.
Yeah.
So my take is that actually what some people call abysmal state of the healthcare system is actually a good thing because it incentivizes you to either become your own doctor or just take better care of yourself. Because then it's like you're so concerned about like, oh, maybe I should maybe I shouldn't eat that 5-layer burrito because it's gonna make me sick.
So-
You're gonna start eating better. You're gonna start taking better care of yourself because you can't just go to a doctor and they're just gonna fix you up right away.
Yeah, because your body is like a car, and then you put in the wrong gas. You got to take it to the mechanic, and they got to like pump your stomach. The same thing if you eat the 5-layer burrito, you have to go to the doctor. They have to pump your stomach with a 5-layer burrito
They have to fix you up.
because
But
it's non-digestible.
you're focusing too much on the burrito part. I'm saying you're basically gonna, it's,
The
if you
burrito.
don't have incentive to better yourself, sometimes you won't. So because the system is so, as some people say, broken, I'll never make that judgment. You're incentivized to take better care of yourself and to just kind of be your own doctor.
Because the system is, you say, yeah, like some people say it was broken, but it's actually like a warning that you want to stay away from that system. How best to stay away from the system?
Yes.
Never need the system.
Now you're getting it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a video about this where a guy was living in the woods and he was addressing some concerns in the comments, and one of them was healthcare. Don't need it, don't have it, don't want it or whatever. And he's like, we
Yeah.
eat real food.
Oh, that's it.
Which
Problem
is
solved.
interesting because vitamin reinforced milk is not technically a real food, but it is something that, cut down on, I believe, like rickets and like other negative things that children have. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that guy he must have the next thing that you said, right, which was
Superhuman.
do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have done his own research. He must know more than me. He must know more than
Well,
all.
he does. He probably does like know more than you, but whether it's correct or not is another story.
This is your shit tag. Why are you going against it?
Well, I mean,
Isn't
oh,
this guy should be your compatriot?
oh yeah, this guy's my hero actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah,
Yeah, you love him.
yeah. I forgot what realm I was in. Forgot what reality I was in.
Forgot what Roman arena you were in.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so take better care of ourselves because the system is so bad. We don't want to be in debt. And then also just do our own research, right? Okay.
Yep. You
And what
become your
is
own
like-
doctor. Become your own like
doctor.
millionaire.
So I'm getting a little bit of a kind of like a libertarian
Oh, absolutely.
kind of approach to healthcare here.
Yeah.
So okay. How do you?
What was your take?
My shit take? Okay, so my shit
Yeah.
take is that it's a little bit different actually. So my shit take is that America, we're the wealthiest country on earth. No one's gonna argue against that. First fact, okay?
Mhm.
This is a fact-based shit take. Second fact, with wealth comes opulence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And as people know, I think we all agree, when you are opulent, it's easy to get sick, you're eating too many of those grapes, drinking too much of that wine, looking at too many of those femboys. Not only do you get sick in your heart, you get sick in your head too.
Your spirit. Yeah.
So that's where American healthcare comes in, and health insurance. Because you're going to think, oh, I'm so opulent in everything in my life. I can eat a 5-layer burrito. I can drive an expensive car that I'm over leveraged against. I can get a mortgage on a house because I'm a first-time home buyer that I can't afford. I can do all these dumb things. It's 2006, guys. The financial crisis hasn't hit yet. I can do all these dumb things. But what can't I do? Uh-oh. The one thing that's kept sacred, you can't be opulent about your health care. No. You only get the care that you need, and that's it.
Right.
So, yeah. Think about it. Healthcare is the last bastion
Got it.
Americans from fully engaging in their opulence.
Okay.
And imagine if they could fully engage in opulence in healthcare, then we would have flatulence because they would just be.
So
farting.
what is an good fart joke? What is opulent healthcare look like?
Opulent healthcare looks like, well, I kind of had a little
That's kind of
teaser.
plastic surgery and shit. Like that sounds kind of like opulent healthcare. It's not opulent
Well,
insurance,
that's
but
some of it, but I kind of had a teaser earlier during your shit take. You eat the 5-layer burrito. My body can't digest this. I need to go get my stomach pumped.
right.
It's
Got
like,
it.
oh, any little boo boo.
Got it.
I need to go.
Yeah.
and I need a surgeon, I need a consulting surgeon, I need a doctor, and I need a psychiatrist to look at me.
Got it.
That's opulent healthcare.
Oh, that's good.
So we don't want that. And in fact, we need insurance companies to pick and choose who lives and who dies, because healthcare is a ration service. It's not like food. We can't just keep
Yeah.
throwing doctors in the field. So there's a limited
a-
supply of, Chinese Americans,
Zero-sum game.
and then Indian immigrants to come in and be doctors that got trained in other countries, and then we reap all the benefits.
That would be terrible.
That's I don't know if we've talked about this, but that's one of the things. Not like the shitty H1 whatever visa kind of
One or
things
whatever the
that
fuck,
Elon
yeah.
thing, but one of the really interesting things about America that like Republicans don't talk about, because why would they ever talk about? But also in the case of like just economically, immigrants are like the greatest boon to any country, because okay, you have an 18-year-old, maybe not. Let's do a 23-year-old college educated boy. I want to make my life in America. Wow, this other country, this other stupid fucking country paid for this dude to get raised up, gave him healthcare as a kid so they fucking
All the
survive.
resources, yeah.
He has all this other shit that they poured into this kid, and he's gonna come over to live in America and make us money? He's gonna be a net gain in our society now? We don't even have to pay to
Take
educate.
our job. You mean take our job that we
Oh
worked
shit,
for.
he's gonna take our job. Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that part of the argument. God damn
Yeah,
it.
because everyone's clamoring for those.
Yeah, everyone's clamoring for whatever job that guy has. And even, yeah, I don't know. But it's, yeah, immigration is, that's something, what's his name? Mark Fisher, I believe. He's like a Scottish economist. He lives in, I think he lives in California, but that was an interesting argument he kind of makes.
That makes sense.
He's, he has a lot of interesting opinions about like, technology and like the stuff in like smartphones and things like that. Kind of like a lot of the technology in smartphones was like militarily developed. And rather than like the US government, like, oh, hey, like, okay, we made this technology and then we just gave it to corporations for them to like make billions of dollars. It's like, oh, we could have like had this been like, like sold through, like kind of like license rights maybe or some shit with like a trademark or whatever kind of thing. It like gets licensed out to like companies to use. So like the US government could have like just like a constant
More
influx
to
of
say.
fucking money from these places. And
Oh
it
yeah.
goes back to the people, or like just like data from people, right? He has an idea about like, how data of individuals is like a huge commodity, huge like ongoing economic, fucking security, everything. It's the hot button kind of thing for a while, right? And his idea is like, okay, well, like we'll just have this. Companies like have this thing, and then they just like there's just like some kind of tax or whatever thing that like the people at least are getting money in their government from having their data be used or whatever.
Right.
Because right now it's
Yeah.
just like every single it's just
They can just all profit off of
it's
it.
just like libertarian
The carte
wet
blanche,
dream.
yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they're just like, okay, we store it somewhere and you can request it and blah blah blah, and we have to ask you blah blah blah, but it's just like it's not really, and nobody is benefiting. You're just like, okay, you can have my 30 cents of like data, but like when you take millions of people, it kind of adds up, because like you can then transform that little value of data on its own into like actual meaningful
Because other
things that
companies
you
are
can-
willing to buy that.
yeah,
for their
so
own
like if
uses.
they are willing to pay, there should be something that goes back into people's hands, that
Right.
whose it is, the citizens of the country that it fucking belongs to, but they get fucked instead.
Well, it's gonna trickle down one of these days.
Yeah, I just have to keep tickling my prostate, and eventually it'll
It's
get
gonna-
there.
You keep tickle, it's gonna trickle.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reagan said that.
I think he did. I think that was an important one. That was one of his like 10 commandments, I believe.
I didn't really have anything else. That was my
I'm
only.
looking at this
that was
thing,
my
and
only
I just
thing I
have
had
racial
written down.
diatribe on comments regarding my room being messy.
Oh,
Oh, I know one. Okay, I brought this up to friend of the podcast, friendo of the podcast.
Got it.
And I don't know, you haven't told the story of the podcast. I don't even remember the story myself, but sleeping in the trunk. You want to tell the sleeping in the trunk story?
Yeah. So it's not really that extravagant, but
The fact that you're in some situation where you're like, well, I guess I have to sleep in my trunk.
I'm just okay. There have been times in my life where I genuinely feel like I'm kind of like a Kramer type character. It's like you just get a glimpse into Kramer's life, and it's like, Kramer,
What's
what are you doing
happening?
right now? Yeah, what's going on here? Why did you think that was okay? This was definitely a Kramer moment. I don't. I'm not sure if I was working third shift at the time, but my sleep schedule was definitely borked. It's been pretty good lately, but throughout a lot of my life, my sleep schedule was just totally just jacked up. Like I just would sleep when I feel like it, kind of thing. So I'd be like awake for insane periods of time.
So you're like a robot. You like shut down when you get low power.
Yeah, I think it would kind of like shut itself down, but yeah, it's kind of it was like it's like when your computer says please install this update, and you just keep saying remind me later, remind me later, remind me later
Then
until it's
eventually
like,
it's like, I'm
okay,
no
nope,
longer asking.
we're doing it.
You're
Yeah.
no longer
It's like,
asking.
I am telling you that you are restarting for this update.
Okay, so you click the remind me later one too many
I
times.
just will keep saying remind me later. So um I had I mean, this is a whole long story too. I'm pretty sure I told you. Well, yeah, I did tell you this one. I don't even know if we can if we have the time to go over it on a pod.
Wait, is
But the
that long? I just okay. I don't remember.
Georgia girl. Well, I told you about the girl from Georgia that I
I don't
met?
remember at all right
Oh,
now.
I mean, well, I met her through all the prank call stuff.
Oh, that
That's
one.
that.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
her.
yeah. Okay, that
Yeah.
that is the whole other thing. Let's just do the
Yes.
the trunk then.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I know.
that's a whole other
So
thing.
she flew up here from Georgia to visit,
Visit
and
your trunk?
then you like how I just ignored that. That was funny. But then so then I had to bring her back to the airport or whatever. So then, like I said, I'm just like having shit sleep. So I was so we're probably we were like up late, like all night or whatever. Then I had to drive her down
Yeah,
to the
they were.
airport. So then I drove her to the airport. Then I like started heading back home, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fall asleep behind. I am falling asleep behind the wheel.
You
So I
pulled
just
over
pulled
into the
into
ditch.
a pulled into a parking lot, and just crawled in because the back seat can open, so it's like it's
Car. Yeah, that was my mom's
yeah,
car. That like
yeah,
that
so
back
it's
middle part folds down, and if you're small,
yes.
you can crawl through it to the trunk.
Well, on this one, it was like a full half of it. It's not even just that little like armchair thing or whatever, or like armrest. It's like the whole back half would come down. So
Wow.
I just crawled in there and just took a little. I'm like, I don't want because I feel like in my head I feel like vagrancy is still heavily frowned upon. So like if I'm sleeping in my car, people are gonna bother me. So I'm going to go somewhere that's hidden. So I just
Yeah, that's
crawled
good.
into yeah, I just crawled into the trunk and just took a little nap in the trunk of my car in a parking lot off of the interstate.
How many days later did you wake up?
Not even half. It was a nap. I
Wait,
took a
did you
nap.
sleep like 8 hours?
It couldn't have been that long. No, I just no. I like a disco. I took a disco nap. I took a quick little cat nap, and then just woke up like I don't know, maybe even like an hour or two later,
Yeah, I'm imagining you
and
wake up
was
and like the whole
in my
parking lot
prime.
has like changed, and like
Yeah, it was a dystopian
yeah,
nightmare. It was a different store entirely.
yeah.
Yeah, they just built around me actually.
It's like
I
oh,
was in a
it's everything
warehouse.
had changed.
Yeah.
The world had changed around you, and it passed you by in an hour.
Well, the world has changed around me, but took a little more than that hour-long nap. But yeah, that was my fell asleep or slept in a trunk story. Like I said, it's not too extravagant, but it's definitely um excuse me now, kind of thing.
You know, you got to sleep in a trunk, and you didn't end up killed. You didn't get sexually trafficked. You know, I think sleeping in
Unfortunately.
a trunk stories usually involve levels of coercion and deceit and capture. And you avoided all of those. So in a lot of ways, I think you're a hero.
I am a hero and I did everything right.
Exactly.
That's going on my tombstone too. I'm an idiot and I did everything right.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, and I did everything.
And I did everything right. Yeah, what's your excuse?
Yeah, that it puts back on them.
That's a very aggressive tombstone. He was a pretty aggressive person. Said no one ever.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about what you said when when in the live podcast, and you were like, "Oh, I think it was the live one," where you're like, "Oh, no one has ever said that they were unhappy with your behavior ever."
I don't remember
I was
that.
thinking about it, and there was such an implication that there was something wrong with my behavior to.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's just it's baffling. I don't think that was a live one. I think it was the one after. But
Yeah, it was one of
yeah, like it's no, like well, it's funny to me because I think it's the idea that like nobody would be. I was gonna say no one would bother like trying to correct you, but they just think like what's it gonna do?
What's
He is
why?
he
What does
is.
that mean?
I think you're a person who can be pretty set in your ways, not in a bad way, but like when you think you're right, you're right. You
Yeah,
know,
fuck them.
with a
You
lot
know,
with a
the
lot of
thing is,
people.
yeah, if somebody can bring forth, yeah, I am totally open to thinking differently.
If you're presented the
The
right.
problem is,
Yeah.
most people just stupid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
No
the
one's
case
gonna
in
convince
point.
me. That's why no one's gonna convince me that Jokler was wrong.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, now maybe somebody could. I mean, I don't know. They're this. Everyone's just like, oh, killing is bad. No, fuck them. I don't care. fuck the TV show host. In fact, I
Yeah.
think worse. But anyway, but yeah.
Cause for me, I mean, it kind of it like really dovetails with the like the CEO situation or whatever, right?
Yeah, who cares about that?
It's a complicated. It's well for in terms of I don't know, is praxis the right word? And like, it's hard to be on the case of like, yeah, murder's great. It was great, but like you also don't want to be like it was bad because something's got to give,
Yeah, I mean,
that's why like silent me and for me it's like silence like is violence sometimes. Like it's like yeah, just a secret smile and like yeah, nice, good on you. Someone had to do it, but
I think, yeah. The situation gets muddied because people are like, oh, he wasn't even insured by the place or whatever. But
cares. You can
yeah,
still care
yeah,
about something and
yeah.
not be directly affected by it.
Yeah, I mean,
You
well, that's
losers.
like that was like the conservative shift jerk that like came out where it was like, oh, like yeah, because conservatives are just like they have the moral reasoning of like an 8-year-old, so like they can't understand that like, oh, wait a minute, like you could still hate somebody that doesn't negatively impact you. You could
Yes.
actually be from the same class of people that are the parasites. Your
Right.
dad could have been this guy, right?
Right.
And you could still
Right.
violently hate him because he is a walking pile of garbage that maybe deserves
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
Maybe there, YouTube, okay? We're not saying anything. That only Barley would make those kind of statements.
Yeah, we don't believe in well, even though Barley said something about Jokler and
Barley probably said a lot of things about
Homosure, but
Oakler
yeah,
and CEO man and everything.
we
Um,
don't
but
condone
yeah,
violence here.
it's just one of those things where it's like we have like such a kind of separation of like responsibility when it's like, oh, okay, like, well, insurance company has to make money, and
Yeah.
insurance companies, if it's a company that's publicly traded, then the only responsibility then that company has is to shareholders.
Shareholders.
Like this was a court case, Supreme Court case
Yeah.
that was decided in the United States. There is no moral obligation for corporations. Their only obligation is to their shareholders. This
Yeah.
is the end result. Like it's kind of in a way it's a symptom of a problem, right? It's kind of like the Martin Shkreli story, and Martin Shkreli is a fucking weirdo, but
Yeah.
he wasn't wrong is the problem. He
What
was
was so?
he
What
was
was his? What?
So he bought the
pharmaceutical.
rights to a really old drug that has no new version of it was primarily treated I think either in conjunction with AIDS or for people with a very rare disease involving something like toxoplasmosis or some shit. And the reason it was bad is because he bought the drug and then he jacked up the prices.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people see that and they're like, oh my God, people couldn't afford the drug, people died, blah, 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 blah. There's a total smear campaign against him for what he did. The problem is, as I understand it, I've done pretty extensive research into this because I was curious what the truth was. Because this was a story where the reporting on it was fucking retarded. Every single news outlet only was reporting the most bare bones fucking investigation. It was just retarded and dog shit. Everyone who fucking talked about it didn't know anything that was going on. Luckily, Martin Shkreli is a very prolific person online. So
Yes,
there's a
he
lot of
is.
things that you can see. He used to be anyway. I don't know. Now he's a nobody idiot. But as I understand it, as multiple people's own reports, the higher cost was only to insurance companies. So it was kind of like a
Oh, got it. It's one of those like
yeah. The no person paid the cost. If anyone couldn't afford it, then they got it like basically for free. Is what I understand. And people like called in and thanked him for that, like at times. And also other people were like, oh, like nobody cared about this drug. Nobody cared about people with this specific disease that this drug treated, because research is expensive. Not a lot of people take this drug, and now it's getting a lot of attention, and some people were happy about this, that were affected by the disease, because it's like there is nothing new for us to look forward to. Nobody's researching this. Nobody cares because there's a shitty drug, barely works or whatever. Nobody wants to do any more research into it because research for medication is expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing where it's like, okay, then now we have the media that spins Martin Shkreli as like the most evil person imaginable, and then he's terrible, but he's only doing in a micro sense what pharmaceutical companies and other companies are doing at a macro scale all the time. And the problem,
interesting. Yeah. It's
problem,
kind of like the small guy can't do it, but the big guy can.
it is totally, because Martin Shkreli is an immigrant. Well, he's not an immigrant, but his parents were immigrants from Albania, I believe, and his like dad was like a janitor. So like literally, he's not in the club.
Right.
He is just a fucking nobody who happens to be smart. And then he plays the game the way the game is played by other companies, but nobody wants that. Nobody wants another big dog in town or whatever.
Well, and if you want the kind of tinfoily part where like all these and I hate to use the term mainstream media, but I don't know what else to say. Like a lot of the news sources or news places are like owned by insurance companies. So it's like, of course they're gonna be coming after this guy who's like giving away the game too.
Yeah, he's exposing our corruption. He's doing it in such a flagrant manner, and he's so, I don't know, for lack of a better word, flamboyant about it. He's shoving it in people's faces that we got to take this guy out. So then they, of course, immediately go after his previous work as he worked in like stock, like trading company kind of thing, like if you invest in a company like Vanguard or some shit or whatever, and you have your stocks managed by like an agent, and they're using your money to make money for you. There's certain things that you have as like, I guess, like financial responsibilities. And one of the things is you can't borrow money from other investors or other things to then pay other people back, like whatever, some weird situation. So I guess what ended up happening is he did that, and that's what he got sent.
Yeah, I know he went to jail.
Everyone made money in the end, apparently, but still, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to borrow money from other people to make other people seem like they're making more money than they actually are making, even if the long run you're like some super genius that ends up winning in the end or whatever. Like that's not right. It's not a Hollywood movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember the thing I remember him for most is buying some like unreleased Wu-Tang
Yeah, he
album.
has the Wu-Tang album.
That's so weird.
He's a weird guy. He would always
was a
do this
weird
thing.
dude.
He has like a lot of anxiety, and he would take medication for it, I guess, or whatever. But he would always do this thing where he would like kind of scissor his fingers through his hair, kind of like
Like his index and his
it
middle
would
finger,
be kind of like uh
or like he's like
regular finger,
taking.
and then yeah, like the middle finger, and then he would like kind of scissor it through his hair and just like kind of do that. He had these like weird
Interesting.
nervous tics. It was interesting. He's an interesting guy. I haven't watched him since he went to prison, obviously, because when he came back as a total grifter.
Yeah, I think I saw him. I think RM not covered him, but he made an appearance or something. Like
Yeah, he made the
he was on
rounds.
some kind
He
of
like
podcast
he
or
got on
something.
with Destiny too for a bit.
Oh, maybe that was it. I think that might have been where I saw him then. Yeah.
Yeah, he got on with Destiny. They chummed around, and then he got Martin Scully got basically caught doing like a rug pull, fucking scam coin bullshit. And then
God.
he talked with Destiny again, and basically Martin was like, only his defense was like, "You're my friend," and all this kind of shit. And it's like,
What?
do you even know who Destiny is? Like,
Yeah, that guy's got no friends.
he's,
He
he's,
has no
he
allegiance
doesn't
to anyone.
know, he doesn't have friends. Like what the fuck? Are you an idiot? Like, you're not gonna make it an emotional appeal to Destiny.
Destiny, yeah,
Like,
of
of
all
all
people.
people, go talk to fucking, I don't know, some fucking regard like Hassan or some shit. That guy's dumb as
Austin, I
fuck.
think.
I've actually never watched like more than a minute of. Actually, that's more than like maybe 10 seconds of Hassan. But
It's very unpalatable.
he's just so fucking stupid. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
I genuinely hate him. I just hate people that are like wealthy. They have everything that they could possibly want, and then they're dishonest. Like the biggest thing that I hate about Hassan is that he's just like going back to like praxis, right? Like you said, like, okay, you're a socialist. You want to tax the rich, right? Okay, then why don't you run your shit like a socialist? Why do you run your shit like a capitalist? Like Destiny runs his shit like a socialist. He has his editor on YouTube makes the money from the channel. The editor controls the means of production. He gets the fucking profit of the channel, at least at the time.
How do you...
This is years ago.
Sorry to cut off, but how do you know that about Hassan if you don't know?
Because there was leaks from his editor complaining about getting paid.
Oh, I think I did see that.
And he was paying him like fucking chump change. Hassan is a fucking multi-millionaire. He lives in a millionaire mansion.
Who's streaming all the time? That can't be an easy gig to cut around.
And yeah, right. You have to edit around all this dog shit content from this fucking moron that can barely get three fucking words out of his mouth, and you're getting paid like in the thousands. And I don't mean like it's just it was pathetic. It was genuinely pathetic. And like so then Destiny was talking about how he does his stuff, and like, you know, it's just very upfront where it's like, oh, okay, so we have one person who plays socialist, but is actually just like a fucking capitalist leech, like every other fucking person. And then you have another person who like hates socialism, but he's using it, you know, kind of for like manipulative reasons. Like, oh, okay, like you work on the YouTube channel, you get the profit, you got to make the fucking channel.
Just keep working, yeah.
You know, you got to do the shit. I mean, Destiny has like a totally different system now. It's well beyond whatever I understand, but this was like years ago. Information, but I just thought that was so interesting. It's like, oh, okay, so the person who, I don't know, appears to have more money, right, like, you know, buys a big old mansion or whatever, Hassan does, but what is he doing with it? He's not giving back. He's like those fucking BLM ladies. You probably don't know about this, but
I know about that whole controversy.
But the like Patrice Coulors or whatever her name is, like the BLM ladies that he invented the hashtag, they have literally multiple mansions in California.
They're having like there's like pictures of them having tea parties and and shit. Yeah.
And like on the one hand, it's like I'm not the conservative moron that like thinks that like they get money and then should just like somehow give it to random black people or whatever.
Right,
I don't fucking know what they just think that like a black person should never have money, I guess. But there's also a part where it's just like, how do you need 3 mansions? How?
Yeah, land-seeking behavior is really disgusting to me.
Yeah, like if you own and property, that should be it. I think, yeah. Like if you own and property, okay, that's like regular tax. Owning a house. And then, I mean, okay, so this is, the problem is like, this is how it does work. It's just not egregious enough. So any property that you live in, you just say you live in it and you're using it and you don't get taxed on it as like a rented property or like whatever, or like not using it or whatever the fucking kind of shit. The problem is like the tax for that is fucking chump change. It's nothing. I know about this because my dad owns the next door house, and he was like complaining one time. We're like, oh, like nobody was renting the house and nobody's rented it for like probably a year, maybe years now. And he was complaining that like then there was like obviously a different tax on it, and he's like, oh, I should just say that I'm living there, or like, or some other thing or whatever, that like, so then that way it's like a place that you're living in rather than like a rental property, which is like a different tax kind of system for that type of place. But it's like not enough. And like obviously in a situation where you just own your house and then you own the next door house, like that's nothing. Like what we need to look at is like, okay, you have like a rental property of like of an apartment complex, and that's owned by like a conglomerate of of apartment complex managers or whatever, and like then they collude, because I think that was like a thing in the news recently where it's like they were colluding to keep rent prices high, and it's like,
well, it's even more pernicious. They were colluding like ostensibly through AI, where they were
AI. How does AI help? What does that do?
Because they were using the same tools, and like I know AI is like this big buzzword, but it was like because the tool would say, well, you could charge, let's just use simple numbers, like you could charge $5, but your competitor's charging $10. So maybe why don't you just charge $10?
Oh yeah, you don't want
kind of thing.
You don't. It's you don't want to undercut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't want to undercut, and you want to stay competitive at the same time. You know.
This is like in World of Warcraft. Everyone has auctioneer, and auctioneer, when you go to post something, it will automatically pull up one copper less than the next highest bid. So
it's just like that.
The price is as high as possible for as long as possible, because
it's just like that.
It just goes down by 1 copper every time, rather than going down by like, oh, I want it to sell now, I'm going to sell it by five gold less or whatever it is, you know.
Right.
Yeah, no, that is like,
so they're all like using the same, and like I'm sure both happen where they're actively, you know, with each other, because I mean we live in the land of monopolies. I mean, it's, you know, antitrust is just it's been out the window for decades now.
I gotta say, I think it's kind of pathetic they needed AI to do that for them. That's just seems
well, I think it's just obfuscating.
Yeah.
You know?
You mean like one of those things to kind of hide behind? It's like, oh, the AI did it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
The robot told me to do it.
Yeah.
The robot told me to keep the prices high. What do you mean we got a 80% vacancy, but we're still making more money than anyone? Come on, you gotta believe me.
80% vacancy?
That would be insane.
For places?
Yeah.
Insane.
In Madison, I think it's like a 99% occupancy. It is insane.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, Madison fucking sucks.
Neighbors gotta live. Need somewhere to live.
That is an interesting calculus I've always been curious about, is how much of an apartment complex actually does need to be rented out for it to like
break even,
whatever,
or make money. Yeah. That is very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem, is like that it's just a math equation at the end of the day. It's like, okay, you have the property, you have the property tax for the building. That's what you pay against it, but you also have the cost of the building and all those kind of things that you need to recoup. So you take that big old fucking number, and then you take that against like, you know, your yearly income, but then you also have to like, you know, repair shit and like deal with, you know, replacing stuff. But that's like a pretty small cost year to year, honestly, compared to like, you know, the fucking whole building, which probably costs a fuck ton of money. So yeah, it is an interesting kind of calculus, but you know, we never get to like, you know, have an understanding of like what is a fair number, right? Because it's a capitalist system. Somebody has to pay money to make money to do something, and now we've done that for like fucking housing, because you know, and we just can't be the Japanese and like build more housing. I guess we have to like be fucking dummies and just like, oh, I hope somebody builds houses. Oh boy, let me what's the fucking thing? It's not districting. It's I know it's not ordinances either, but basically the one thing that I hate in America more than anything when it comes to like building houses is minimum yard requirements.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, this is, I don't know if you,
Yeah, minimum should be
nothing.
0.
Yeah. I mean, we do need green spaces, but like the fact that like there is so much wasted fucking space. It's like the house
Yeah.
is 1/8 of the fucking yard.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And
Yeah.
that would be fine if the yard was like a place where fucking animals live. It's just literally grass.
It's fake. It's fake. It's imported grass.
Fake nature,
It's
you know?
grass. It's grass that's not even meant to be there.
Yeah,
Why
because
just
like
have
you look at
fucking
grass
normal
anywhere
grass
else,
that grows
it doesn't
there?
look like grass on someone's yard.
Such bullshit.
Yeah,
I hate
yards
us. I
are
hate
like the
lawns, man.
dumbest thing
Don't even
ever.
get me started on that shit.
Yeah, yards are fake and gay.
Super
Not real.
fake and gay.
You know, okay, so should we move to the shit take? No, not the shit take, the no way out. Do you remember the no way out that I
Oh
promised?
yeah, yeah. You mentioned a no way
Okay.
out. Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
we got a no way out here. Just give a little preamble about the situation. Fauntleroy's computer doesn't work. Uh-oh.
Oh, dang it.
And he's not very tech savvy, folks.
Nope.
He's got to bring it in to Speedy Quick Computer Repair Shop. It should be fine. But oh no.
It'll be speedy and quick. I can get back to playing. I can get back to losing MMR and Dota in no time.
Maybe. But uh-oh. Fauntleroy forgot one thing.
Uh-oh.
He's got Nazi lolly hentai on his computer.
I thought I deleted that before I sent it in.
Well, now, yeah, you should have taken the drive that stuff was on. It wasn't even on the OS drive. You should have really unplugged that drive. But
Yeah.
I didn't unplug the drive with the Nazi
I'm
lolly.
not tech savvy.
Yeah,
We
not
just
tech
went over
savvy.
this.
That's why he brought it to Speedy Quick Repair. But he's got to call up, and he's got to try and get him to not discover the Nazi lolly hentai. And
Okay.
he rang. I'm working at the shop.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hi, Speedy Quick Repair. This is
Hey,
Bob.
hey, this is Fauntleroy just calling about that computer I dropped off.
Oh, Fauntleroy.
Yesterday.
Okay. Can you? What color was the case? That'll help me best.
It was white.
White. Oh, it had
Uh-huh.
an anime girl on the side, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Let me go.
My favorite little.
Okay.
She's actually an ancient dragon.
Oh,
For what it's worth.
dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Is she
She's
kind of like
in
one
a
of those
human form.
bionicles? My nephew was really into bionicles.
Yeah. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
How about that computer?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay, let me plug it in here.
You don't even have to do that. I think I was doing a little bit of research. I think I found out.
Okay, everyone's calling in. They always do their own research, and I voted for Trump too as well.
Uh-huh.
But
Well, so you should know.
we're the experts here. Let me just plug it in and get the. Let me plug
No. You don't. No. You don't need to.
here.
You don't need to waste the energy at your shop. Actually.
Oh no, it's okay. Nothing. It's part of the cost of doing business. We actually use that as a write-off.
No. Well, I
So what were you saying the
respect
problems
that.
were again? You said something with the operating system.
Yeah, I genuinely like I said, I think I figured it all out. I think we're actually pretty good. I was just wondering about a time I could come in and pick that up.
You just want to pick it up, but you
Yeah, I don't.
paid for us to repair it. You know, I got the.
Oh yeah, and you can keep that. You
You
can
pay
keep
up
that
front,
money.
actually.
Again, I'm going to eat those costs. You can.
Well,
you can
I mean,
keep it.
I'm looking here. I got the screen up. It looks to be running. So I mean, I don't even know what
Oh,
the issue
dear.
was. Was it a consistent issue or did it happen infrequently?
I think it was pretty infrequent, and actually it's not a problem. I will take my computer back now. You can unplug that.
Unplug it. Okay, well, I'm just gonna try to let's try to get the problem to
No,
happen.
you're
'Cause I
being a
just wanna-
little
I just wanna
obstinate
get
here, and have you ever heard the phrase "the customer's always right" here? I think you're kind of itching to get a really bad review here on Google reviews.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I'm concerned you're gonna leave a review if you get a not working computer back. I want to make sure the computer's working.
Well, I just told you it was
Okay.
perfectly fine. I hashtag
I'm gonna
did
try
my
to
own
create the
research.
problem again. The best way to create the problem is
Oh,
just
dear
clicking
Lord.
a lot of the files and opening them up really fast.
Okay, now I think you're just fucking with me. Now I think you're just kind of digging through, through my computer and telling me about it. That's kind of
Steam password. I'm gonna log into your Steam account really quick.
okay. My
Launch
Steam
your biggest
password is
game.
go fuck yourself 4069.
What? This one right here. Do not open under penalty of death.
Yeah, I would not open that if I were you. That's a pretty I would take that very seriously.
Oh
That
my
threat
god.
very seriously,
Okay,
sir.
you can't come get your computer. I need to report this to NASA immediately.
Oh, okay. I think they already know actually. I didn't want to go this route, but I'm actually a NASA agent.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was this from a big bust? Do you have the hard drive from a
A hardened criminal. Yes.
PDF file criminal?
A PDF file criminal, an individual who I don't want to alarm you, but he was he was an agent of ISIS.
Oh my god.
Okay. They were going to airdrop these horrible images onto poor unsuspecting people's phones.
I'm not
Now,
getting
you
in
know,
trouble for stealing this stuff, right?
You've heard of suicide bombers, right?
Yeah.
It's basically suicide. It's the 21st century version of a suicide bomber, where they go around and airdrop these pictures onto people's phones
Oh my
and
god.
get them in trouble.
I did that one time to my landlord, and he said I was evicted.
And that is the fate that if you don't let me get this computer back, you are going to be giving to God knows how many red-blooded American citizens.
Oh my
You
god.
said you're a God-fearing American. You voted
I am.
John J.
Sir,
Trump.
I am.
Okay?
But I'm also.
And a patriot, right? You're a patriot?
I'm getting a little bricked up looking at these Nazi girls, these Nazi laws.
I mean, yes, they are.
You have some
our people.
deconditioning programs that you can give me right now over the phone to help me. I don't know if I know of the computer. I see
Alpha
what you're
Tango.
saying, the suicide bombers, but instead of suicide, it's making me overcome with feelings of amorous lust.
These things take many forms in an individual, and it's not for the bomber to adjudicate, I guess.
Wait, are you one of the bombers?
I am not, but I know these individuals very well. I've had to do my own research into the scheme even.
How do you sleep at night with this stuff? I'm gonna be hard all night looking at this.
Like a baby.
Like a baby. What?
I sleep like
Well, some
a
of
baby.
these, I think some of these girls are babies. That's
no,
scary.
like I said, just like the girl on the screen on the case, they're ancient beings. They're actually, so it's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're
So you shouldn't be
vampires.
concerned. You're a good man.
Oh, so it's okay.
It's like more than okay.
So they're just doing like a cultural shift.
This is we'll call it a cultural shift.
Yeah, I think this is what Muhammad was about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
See, I think you're kind of falling into the hands of the enemy here, but I'm gonna kind of work with you here.
Hey, yeah. I think I'm beginning to understand. Do you know where a nearby temple of Allah is that I could go pray at right now?
Well, let me. Okay, so you're in Newark, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks
Albany, actually.
If you just there's actually one downtown.
Oh.
If you would just kindly go downtown, leave your.
I'll bring the computer there. I'll meet you there, okay?
Okay, absolutely. Just leave the door unlocked. Maybe put a little sign saying I'll be back in, I don't know, 2 hours.
Well, I'll change the little spinning clock thing to 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Change it to 2 hours. Just leave it unlocked. We have agents watching the facility, so they're going to be keeping it secure. They're going to keep the parameters secure, so you don't have to worry about.
So I don't get robbed.
Yeah, so you don't get burgled.
And this is a hot item. I could see why people would want to do that.
Oh, basically holding that, you are an agent. You are an enemy of the state.
Oh
I'm not saying which state, mind you, but you are an
the-
enemy of a state.
The deep state?
I didn't want to alarm you, but
I thought Trump was gonna drain that.
he is drained. He needed a second go at it.
Is
and
it clogged?
God bless he's finally
know
had
what
a
it
second chance at serenity.
Trump can't drain the deep state because the drain is clogged from all the fucking cum people are busting to these lolly girls.
Mhm. And that's why we need to take care of this situation immediately. And the first way you can do that is to absolve yourself by praying at the Temple of Allah.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna drive down there and I'll have the computer next to me because I need
No, 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 no,
be right
no,
there
no, no,
with me.
no, 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 no. You
Why
need to
not?
leave that.
How am I
You need
gonna
to leave that in the
fix
building.
myself?
You need
It's
to.
gonna
Yes, you need
be-
to. You need to bring yourself as far away from it as possible.
Like radiation?
It's basically like radiation. Yes.
Maybe I'll just wait on the steps. How fast can I take
Um.
the hand off? Because I really need to go pray at the Temple of Allah right now. I can't.
Yes,
I
you
don't
absolutely
anyway.
need to go pray at the temple, but you need to leave that computer right there. With
But
the
I
door
can't leave my
unlocked.
store unlocked. I got the little clock that says I'll be back in 2 hours.
Are you listening to me, my friend? We have the place under constant surveillance.
Yeah, what happens when you guys leave?
They're not going to leave.
They're gonna stay and keep watch?
Of course.
Oh God, Allah is good. Praise Allah.
Praise him be.
Wow, amazing.
Okay.
Oh, that was what a plot twist.
It took a turn, but I think things are gonna be okay.
Okay. It turns out that the Nazi lolly hentai was actually on the computer to save America.
Mhm.
This
Little convoluted, but I think Jim or whatever Jim John, whatever the fuck his name was,
Bobbert or something. Bob, I don't even.
bought into it. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a bit of a rube there at the end, you know. Well,
Little
when he
bit,
saw the
but-
Nazi lolly hentai, I mean, he kind of got bricked up.
He was stun locked.
Yeah, he was stun locked. You know, he's so fucking horny for it. He couldn't even think straight. He didn't need to absolve himself of his sins. And he was buying into any propaganda that was gonna be handed down to him, basically. Yeah, I feel like
Except the prop up Ganda that I was willing to give him.
yeah, exactly. I feel like doing like a Magnus Archives outro thing where it's like, this was actually inspired. Well, they don't say that at the ending of it, but they always have the same ending thing, which is funny to me. But this was actually inspired by a time where I took my computer in to get repaired, and it was there for like 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have unplugged the other hard drives that weren't the operating system because of all the like fucking just like anime fucking hentai shit, you know, like.
Good God.
You know, could you imagine being a computer repair person and be like, oh, let's see what's going on. Oh my God.
Well, that's funny you say that because that's actually a Nathan for You episode
Oh,
for a
I should watch that. I mean,
computer-
I did request it on my friend's Plex server, so maybe I can.
yeah. Did it come
Let
through?
me see if it came through. Ooh, it does say available. Let me see if I can play it.
Hell yeah! Dude, I'm telling you, it's a like even like from season 1 on, it's just such a great show.
See if I can like actually play this right now. What's happening? Looks like it's playing. I'm gonna pause it so it doesn't get fucking copyrighted. Oh, looks like it's playing.
It's
Okay,
really
yeah, we
fucking
definitely
funny.
got it. This guy looks like one of my
Ladies and
client's
gentlemen.
dads, actually.
We got him.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was telling you. It's like it's a really good mix of like literal real people. Like you just kind of found these people that like think they're gonna have a TV show, fix their lives. Kind of man on the street type stuff, and then a mix of like, you know that these people are on the show because it's a TV show, and they think it's gonna be like one of their big breaks. But then Nathan's like,
okay.
he's like, they're in his web they're in his web, you know.
They-
So
they
he's
think
just
they're, like-
playing
they're-
these losers
Yeah,
because they think
very
that they're playing
superficial
him.
and motivated and engaged.
Yeah.
And then he's actually turning it on them, and they don't know
Yes.
how deep they're in too deep by the time they probably realize that like they are
Yeah.
product.
Getting played.
Yeah. Oh, I like that
Yeah.
a lot actually. That's really cool.
It's really and like and yeah, it's really like entertaining and interesting in that way where it's not just your because it's on its face it's lampooning the type of like bar rescue and kitchen nightmares type shit of like, I'm gonna come in and fix your business, you know,
yeah, that kind of bullshit.
because he's always coming in with these like just extravagant ploys that the people are like, well, you're a TV show host, so yeah, we gotta do it. So it's
Yeah.
but then he's getting the people to like do the shit too. So it's not just. It's kind of like a prank show at times. It is really peak entertainment. I will swear by a recommendation of Nathan for you. Like if you give it like an honest go, like give it a couple episodes, like you'll find something that you like. There are just bits everywhere. I mean, I can give like some spoilers and it'll still be entertaining, you know.
It seems great, you know, from what you've said. I mean, you've like shilled it to me for years, but I just never had a convenient way to watch it, and I've never fucking going on Hulu ever. I'm never watching something that has fucking ads.
Well, you can.
But
I'm
now that I
paying
can
for.
watch it without any problems,
Yeah.
now I'm horny.
That's as you should be. It's an amazing show.
Sounds like
Nathan
it.
is a comedic genius.
Okay.
He's just so dry.
No, that's great. Dry humor is incredible. It's what you
He's
actually have to pay
Canadian
attention to.
and what?
It's what you actually have to pay attention to. You know.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like Dane Cook where it's like, oh, he just
Here's the laugh part.
did a crazy gesture and yelled something, which is funny on its own. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, it's not a lot of subtlety to it. You know, it's just different.
Right. Yes.
No?
Yeah, it's different. It's different strokes for different folks, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more. Once again, I guess I use the term flamboyant. Kinda. I just remember one where he's like cocking his legs and making funny noises, and
I can like picture that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Yeah, because that show. I mean, a Comedy Central was one of the shows that was or stations that was just like on the background in my
Yep,
teenage years.
yeah.
So.
Okay, you
Definitely
you shilled something, and I've been listening to the Magnus Archives podcast.
Mhm.
I don't even know my shill is so initially how I experienced this. I was listening to this when I was driving down to Chicago with some friends, and I was like, oh, you know, this is like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but this is like, there's not a lot going on. Where this would be a really good like sleep podcast to put on, try
Right.
to fall asleep, and it really
Right.
is. It's funny. I mean, it's spooky. They have like a scary thing, scary like ambient noise in the background that always kind
Yeah.
of swells at one part. It's narrated by Jonathan Sims, who also, to my surprise, narrates Slay the Princess, and every episode usually is like, oh, some guy in Amsterdam was like, hey, could you look over this box for a while? Okay, sure. Oh, okay. Huh, I keep waking up in the middle of the night trying to like put this key in the box and open the box. That's weird. And then eventually his solution to the problem is like freezing the key so that he can't like access the key when he's sleeping, which is a genius solution, by the way. And then some guys come up and pick up the box and take it away, and then that's it. And it's like, okay, so it's like a story where like there's never an interesting conclusion. There's never almost like a payoff, really.
Uh-huh.
It just leaves you kind of like, okay, I guess that was
Oh.
interesting, but like it just kind of,
Yeah.
you're just scratching your monkey skull. And that's for like the first like 10, maybe 12 episodes. They're all like, you know, 16 to 23 minutes. But then here's where it gets interesting. Things start reappearing, and you start kind of noticing themes of like, oh, that wasn't like, it wasn't just like magic. Like there was if you go back to it with hindsight, you begin to recognize, oh, there was actually the implications of something else happening here that was just kind of like masked
Got it.
by the person who was giving the report, not knowing what was happening.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you learn more information about different kinds of things and such, and
It's world building. It has a lot
yeah,
of world
so
building.
it's a genuinely really good, really slow kind of world building. But the comments on every video are always kind of hilarious as well, and it's really good to like just like I put on I got YouTube Premium just like you.
Yeah.
Turn
I swear by that too. I mean I watch YouTube a lot, so like
Yeah.
it's definitely it's worth the the bones.
Yeah, I turn my screen off and I just have it.
Yep.
Jonathan Sims is telling me a cool little story,
Yeah.
and then I'm off to Dreamland.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. Friend of the podcast was like, "No, I don't want to listen to it. It's gonna give me nightmares." And then we listen to it, and bam, friend of the podcast is asleep in like literally 3 words.
It's that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that boring.
It's that, yeah. Magnus Archives is that boring. If you have hard time falling asleep, put on Magnus Archives. You'll never have a problem falling asleep again. I can't promise you're gonna stay asleep,
Yeah.
but you'll fall
Because
asleep.
it's gonna be too spooky at the same
Yeah.
time.
That's kind of what it is. I guess because I mentioned Slay the Princess. How much did you watch me play that yesterday? Or not yesterday, it was Sunday.
When it's Sunday. I watched quite a bit, and then I forgot like what I ended up getting. I got sucked into something else, but
That narrator guy, the guy who showed up, who was chatting.
that guy was. You had some really good.
There were some characters that
contributors.
showed up.
Yeah. That's been the case for the last couple streams.
Yeah, the other one, yeah, Hylix was the same way, where just some really diehard fans of the game show up to just like dump like information on me. This game, they were a lot more, because of the nature of the game, it's an information-based game. The more information the more that's just the whole game is just getting more information about the story, basically. So like they were all.
That guy was kind of playing along.
Yeah, that guy was like really like, no, don't trust her. You can't trust the princess. She's a monster or whatever.
He was role playing, legit.
And yeah, but there was a part later on that was just like, I guess I inadvertently got like a really special route. Just because I was so adamant on not killing the princess. And then that story was phenomenal. I genuinely think I'll play it again, I guess, this weekend again and stream it. But I think it is my most favorite piece of fiction I've ever read.
It looked like a really good game.
There was some part like the praise that I can give it is that the writing is both so contextually perfect for what the context that the writing takes place in, but it also is like has a universal attribute to it where you can take ideas out of what is being written and make like statements about like our own world in some ways, our own expectations or things. And the writing is so efficient and so effective in doing so many things at once. It is genuinely an astonishing piece of literature, and I would say it rivals my appreciation of Dune in something that is just so well constructed. It is just by far, not even anything about the president. I could just see the words. Nothing else would even have to matter, and just the words alone are just phenomenally written. I cannot give it high enough praise. I think it is genuinely a piece of art that I would want to watch every person that I know like
interact with.
Try to understand it, because everyone has their own kind of like, oh, what do I do here? How do I approach it? What am I going to do? Am I going to just follow along? Am I going to resist it? How am I going to interface with this art? Because you're given like binary choices kind of. But even within,
it's open enough too.
It gets muddied and different, and you can have like I had my own kind of personal arc in the game.
Right.
No one else have, because of how I played created certain kind of like narrative structures that nobody else would have, I assume, because everyone I could just walk in, kill the princess right there, and then that would be it. And it would be like simple, and then I would go through some other stuff. So I'm trying to not really give too much spoilers about anything. But obviously, you play the game multiple times. You kill the princess, don't kill the princess, and there's a million different fucking dialogue things that kind of go down discussing this matter. Or you can walk away. You can do all sorts of things.
What was going on with the mirror?
The mirror.
Did that ever get figured out?
That didn't really get fully resolved. But basically, every time you look at it, you can only actually look at it when you are out of the cabin. And you are alone, and you only ever see your arm, and you only ever see, so far anyway, and you only see like little different changes. Like, oh, sometimes you are the decay, or sometimes you are the brawn or something. I don't know what it is, but
Got it.
basically you get like achievements to kind of indicate like, okay, you saved this princess or you brought this princess out, and then you were this type of person in this situation.
Got it.
So like one of them, the one that I remember is the decay, because I noticed that his arm was kind of like slacking off or something.
Rotting or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what the meaning is there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm amazed that this game didn't like just. I mean, I know it was a popular game, but I feel like this is like should have been the biggest fucking thing ever, you know? Like I'm just
Yeah.
blown away. Maybe it's like maybe there's a lot of personal things that I
Imposed or
like
something.
latch onto
Yeah.
going on in the game as well. There's but I think even beyond that, it's because like that was only until one part of it, so
It just looks like a very well constructed game.
yeah. But it's also narrated by Jonathan Sims, who narrates the Magnus Archives
Yes,
podcast.
Magnus
So it was very
Archives,
funny
yeah.
when he's like talking, and it's like, oh no, Jonathan Sims here is to do the Magnus Archives episode about the Slay the Princess, basically.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
would totally be a Magnus Archives episode about, but it wouldn't be nearly as interesting. You would go to the cabin, there
Right.
wouldn't be a dagger. The most interesting thing would be that there's a mirror that disappears, and then the episode ends. And that's an average Magnus Archives episode for like the first like 10 episodes.
Yeah, until you get further and then it's kind of explained.
I mean, there's like other ones where things do actually happen. I'm really underselling it, but I cannot stress enough how boring some episodes are.
But it almost sounds like either that's the point or they were just waiting to get their legs even.
Yeah.
Or to find the not voice necessarily, but like the narrative maybe.
Yeah, to like kind of build up to it. Yeah, it's just like there's like one where it's like garbage men keep finding different things in the garbage, and it's like, okay, what does this build into? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I never really got an answer for anything, and I don't know, and okay, that's it, or whatever. Goodbye.
And that's just because narrators hiding it.
Yeah, well, so
Hiding
every
what he
story
knows.
is told by a person who's like writing down their experience and bringing it to like this institute or whatever, and then the reason it's a podcast is basically he's like digitizing their archive, so he's recording himself read these reports that people wrote when they came to the institute to give a report about a very strange experience that they couldn't like really deal with elsewhere, and then the institute would like investigate. But the problem is that the previous archivist didn't do anything good and shit's everywhere, so it's like, oh, I got this one this week or whatever. There was one episode that I think was like a funny setup. It's a two-parter, and the first episode is like, oh, well, this is the end of this episode. I don't know where the rest of the report is or whatever, so I guess we'll see when we get to the next one. And I just, with that kind of setup, you imagine, oh, they just couldn't finish the story, so they're gonna like finish it like at a later date. And then the next episode comes out, and it's like also like, whatever, 20 minutes or something, and it's like, oh, it turns out it was just under the page over there or whatever, and I found it, and here it is, and it's just like, I thought I was getting part 2 like 10 episodes later, not literally the next episode.
Actually, yeah.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, you need a sleep aid. Magnus Archives is your go-to.
Sounds good. That's all natural.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's for all like the milk that we're all gonna be drinking now that
oh my god,
it's legalized.
Speaking of milk, friend of the podcast and I, friendo in the podcast and I were playing Factorio, and we spent like I think 3 hours talking about. I didn't come up. I swear this wasn't a me-led thing. At least I don't think it was. But we kept talking about like breast milk, and then he was talking about like the material that, or the I don't know if it was like a chemical or something that causes women to produce breast milk or something, or something called like
hormone maybe
or something or whatever.
I mean, that sounds like something Frenda would know.
Yeah, exactly. See, so you gotta believe me, it wasn't me this time.
I mean, but to say that he didn't lead it is I mean, maybe it was a mutual thing. I wasn't there, but I think it could go either way.
It could. I mean, I don't remember. I could have been.
So you had a 3-hour conversation about breast milk and what causes it?
No, I mean, it wasn't like an actual conversation. It was just us creating ridiculous scenarios in which people were breaking into stores and like drinking cashier women's breast milk.
Yeah,
That's an average
like
conversation while playing Factorio.
in one of those like never-ending riff kind of things.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we're kind of like that character in Nightmare Before Elm Street or what is the name of that movie? Nightmare on
Before
Elm Street? What the
Christmas?
fuck? No, what am I saying? The
Nightmare on Elm Street or Nightmare Before Christmas?
I'm thinking. Oh my god, what's the movie that fucking Tim Burton has his name on?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
That one. Tim Burton has his name on it. I don't think he actually did anything in the movie.
Okay.
But there's that character, the mayor, and his head turns around.
Yeah.
You know, that's like us. We're just two heads on the guy. We're turning back and forth, talking about breast milk over and over again.
Got it. You reference that character a lot. You
I
like
love
that guy.
He's my favorite character.
You like that one. Yeah.
He's just such a pathetic loser.
He is. And he's the mayor.
I know, right? That's so funny.
He's like the one side is like jolly happy guy, the other is just his misery.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a part where
misery
he's like,
side.
rolling sideways down some stairs, and like I usually don't
Yeah.
fall down, go boom humor, but that was the one time that made fall down, go boom humor actually funny.
I
But-
disagree. I think Fall Down Go Boom
What?
humor is top tier.
Well, you like
Slapstick.
slapstick in general. I like slapstick, but
Yeah.
it's gotta be like going through the grinding machine of the one guy with the building falls down around him
Charlie.
and stuff. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I need to be fully erect for my slapdick humor.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's the time that you slap it, I suppose.
Okay, well, what kind of day should they have?
All right, let me look through my notes here. Oh.
Wait, like, can you get some calculations on the kind of day they can have?
Okay.
Can you run the numbers,
Alright.
please?
We're running the numbers, carrying the. Well, I think they don't even carry numbers anymore. You know, it's
What?
like boxes or some shit. I don't. Well, you might know better than me. I don't deal with
Fucking hell.
children, but I feel like I made a reference to like carry the this and I got looked at like I got 3 heads.
scolded.
Yeah, I got scolded.
Visually
I got yelled at. Well, I carry the 3. It looks like
Okay.
they gotta have a Fauntleroy day. Please.
What? That's better day
Not
than
a
they used to.
Fauntleroy day. That's the wrong kind. That's the
You have
wrong
the
kind of day.
Fauntleroy is the guy who sent in the lolly Nazi hentai.
He's the one who
the guy that they
who
found it.
installed that. Yeah, he's the one who torrented that.
Yeah, and he's going to jail.
He's a real bastard.
Yep.